What is up, guys, and welcome to the first ever Let's Talk Wrestling, a show where you and I, we get into it. We discuss the ins and outs of the business, the highways and the byways. If you have any discussion topics, leave them in the comment section below. And I'm going to try and do this show weekly, most likely every other week, though. We're going to be discussing things like maybe something happens on Raw and we'll discuss it here, or we'll preview a pay-per-view or review a pay-per-view. Stuff like that. But today's topic is none other than the well talked about and everybody already knows what's coming. We're talking about the brand split. Of course, earlier this week, actually I think it was just yesterday or the day before, WWE announced that SmackDown is moving to the USA Network live on Tuesday nights. I should say they're moving to Tuesday nights live on the USA Network. They're not moving to the USA Network. They've been on the USA Network. They announced that SmackDown is going to have a distinct roster, which basically confirms the fact that there is now a brand split coming to the WWE. That's big news. A lot of people have been discussing it ever since last year's WrestleMania 31, when Daniel Bryan was discussed to be exclusive to SmackDown with the Intercontinental title, and that they were going to split the brands then. It seems as though now, with people coming back and new guys being signed like AJ Styles, Nakamura, Austin Aries, possibly Bobby Roode, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson, along with the people returning from injury, that they do now have enough people to possibly have distinctive rosters, not a brand split. Brand split's kind of negative or something. I don't know. Whatever. They said distinctive rosters, not splitting the brands. But personally, I think this is good news. A lot of people think that they can't give you a 3-hour Raw. How are they going to give you a 2-hour SmackDown? And I think that this just opens a door to kind of narrow the amount of things that they can do per show, right? If you're writing a show for 20 people instead of 40, right, you're going to have a narrower window of things that you can do. You know, you can only do so much. I mean, like, you know, the matchups aren't going to be always new and fresh per se. I mean, I think that they can continue to do that. You got 4 big pay-per-views a year where you can kind of mix Raw and SmackDown, and I hope that they don't do that for a while. Hopefully not until at least WrestleMania. This is happening in July, so by next year's WrestleMania, being able to see somebody, let's say AJ Styles goes to SmackDown, and let's say John Cena's on Raw, right? And we've never seen these two go at it before. And then for WrestleMania, we get John Cena and AJ Styles. That would be a dream match. They're kind of setting up a possibility for dream matches here, which I think is great. I think that's wonderful. You know, maybe you can do them at SummerSlam and WrestleMania. Every 6 months or so, you can do a dream match card where you're kind of mixing the two. You know, Nakamura and like Seth Rollins or something, because now you have 2 different shows where you've got 2 different rosters, and they're not going to collide, right? So I think that's brilliant. I think that's really a really good idea, because now it seems like you're getting too much of the same shit, and you're kind of seeing everybody wrestle everybody too much, right? You're getting to see Kevin Owens twice a week, Sami Zayn twice a week, Cesaro twice a week. You're getting to see these guys that are putting on high-performance matches, and they're wrestling twice a week. So their stuff starts to get stale after a while. You know, you've seen Cesaro uppercut Sami Zayn 42 times by the end of the week. Gets a little old after a bit. And I'm not saying that Cesaro or Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose or AJ Styles or the Usos or Roman Reigns or whoever is boring. It's just once you get so much of it in such a short period of time, you got to figure there's, a Raw and a SmackDown every week, right? Let's say that there's 4 weeks between pay-per-views. So that's 4 shows. That's 4 shows. That's fucking 8 shows. What is wrong with me? 8 shows between pay-per-views, and then a pay-per-view. So you get to see these guys go at it so much, whether it's in a tag match or not. My computer just fucked up. I don't know if that fucked up the video, but So then, by the pay-per-view, it's gotten a little stale. It's gotten a little old, right? Whether it's in a tag match or not, like I just said. Um, so I think that this is a way to freshen people up as well, right? Not only freshen up matchups, although I don't know if you can get enough people on the roster and you can build more people this way as well because you can protect more people per show. Right now, it seems like maybe there's 3 or 4 people that they want to protect on Raw and SmackDown at the same time because it's one show. It's WWE. But let's say you have 4 people on Raw that you want to protect. Let's say you have Cena, you got Rollins, you got Bray Wyatt, and let's say you got Seth Rollins. So you're 4 on Raw that you want to protect. You got Bray and Seth are heels. Roman and Cena are your baby faces. Just saying. Just hypothetically. And then on SmackDown, you've got guys like AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and let's just throw Cesaro into the mix. And those are your 4 on SmackDown that you're protecting. Now you've got 8, right? You've got 8 guys that are now top superstars, top guys that are going for the world title on their respective brands. So then when they come together again at WrestleMania or SummerSlam, you're going to have 8 guys on the show instead of 4. I'm going like this and you can't even see, but you're going to have 8 instead of 4 big name superstars or top contenders. And then you kind of let those guys collide on the shows. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I think this is a way to freshen up guys wrestling, right? Guys like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, guys that are really good wrestlers, but because they're wrestling so much per week or per month that you've seen them so much and you've seen what they can do, and they're not trying to show you everything on Raw or SmackDown. They're trying to save some stuff for the pay-per-view, something special. And you're seeing the same stuff over and over again, so you're getting a little old with it. This is a way to put them on different shows, so that way they can stay fresh. I think it'll help them to stay in better shape. Maybe they won't get as injured as much, right? Because now they're working one less show a week. No, because when they go on tour, I think they'll just hit different cities, that, and they kind of already do that where they have 2 different house show crews or whatever, and then they just kind of hit their cities. So this will be a way to split up the crews to where to where it's Raw and SmackDown house show crews. But yeah, so I think this is a good idea. As far as where I think certain superstars are going to go, my personal hunch, and there's no way to know, right? I mean, they could go. There's 2 ways that I think that they can go with this. I think that they can split up their 2 big superstars, right? They could put John Cena on SmackDown to hold on to SmackDown, make sure that SmackDown is everything that they want it to be. I think that they can take Roman Reigns and put him on Raw, and then, give him somebody to feud with, like Seth Rollins or Bray Wyatt or whoever it may be. But you put John Cena on SmackDown to help SmackDown's ratings rise, and then you put Roman Reigns over on Raw and somebody else over there with him because he's not quite there yet. Although he's improving. I think he's doing good. But there's a disconnect there between Roman and the fans, and it's definitely noticeable, right? Everybody notices it. So I don't think that I don't think that they're gonna give Roman Raw. Just Raw, right? They're gonna give him somebody else big, like Seth Rollins or whoever, AJ Styles, somebody like that. Because I think AJ Styles is now a top superstar. I think AJ Styles is connected with the fans, and now he's a huge babyface, and he's over. And I think that he's going to be one of the top guys on either Raw or SmackDown. The way that I personally think that they're going to do it is the other way, one of the 2 ways, right? I think that they're going to kind of do a new guard over on SmackDown and an old guard over on Raw. And that's kind of a messed up way to say it, but because that makes Raw sound like it's going to be old and boring, but I think if you kind of mix them well enough, right, not even just like old guys, not just like Jericho, Big Show, and Kane over on Raw, and AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn over on SmackDown. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe Roman, Cena, Dean, and like Bray Wyatt over on Raw. Guys that have been established on the show for a few years now. Not John Cena. John Cena's been around forever, but guys that have been around for a while now. And then over on SmackDown, I think you try and do something similar to NXT. There's been talk of bringing up Ryan Warts, I believe is his name, a writer for NXT. There's talk of bringing up a writer from NXT and having him come in and write SmackDown, and I think that's a great idea. And I think if they try and do an NXT style show with SmackDown, where they have guys like Styles and Owens and Zayn, Nakamura, Aries, Rude, Joe, Finn, I think you might want to throw some of those NXT guys over on Raw just to freshen things up a bit. Not throw them all on SmackDown, but most of them, right? Alpha, American Alpha, maybe the God, what are their names? Blake and Murphy. There we go. I was going to say the Hype Bros, but Blake and Murphy. Maybe you throw them over on SmackDown along with maybe like the Dudley Boys, right? Throw some old guys over there as well. I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Jericho on SmackDown as well. I think that'd be cool. Chris Jericho's really good, and I think he can still go. But I think that's the way that you go with it. I think you kind of do, the new superstars on SmackDown and the old ones on Raw, and then you kind of build SmackDown up as like this newer thing. And you've got AJ Styles now, which I think he's an established top guy no matter what at this point. I think he's done great since he's come to the WWE. I keep on like scratching my face. I don't know what it is, but anyways, I think AJ Styles has done well since coming to the WWE, and I think he's put on some really good matches with Roman Reigns, and I think he's an established superstar that can carry SmackDown on his own. I was gonna add something and then I stopped, but I think he can carry SmackDown. So I think that's how you do it. As far as championships go, I think I like the idea of having one world champion and then splitting up the rest, because then you can kind of get more dream matches out of guys more often. And maybe that's not the best way to go with it. But if you think about it, let's say AJ Styles is not the champion, right? But you really want to see AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins, but Rollins is over here on Raw and Styles is over here on SmackDown, and you're never going to see them go together unless one of them wins a championship, right? And Roman Reigns is the champion. Seth Rollins then wins it from Roman Reigns and begins a feud with AJ Styles over on SmackDown. Now you've got your dream match that can only happen if one of them is champion, because then you're rooting for that guy more because you want to see him face somebody else. I guess that might hurt the champion. But who knows? I wouldn't mind seeing two championships, right? I wouldn't mind seeing a Raw champion and a SmackDown champion. Maybe keep the same belt. But who knows? You never know. Bring back the big gold belt. I want to see the IC title go over to SmackDown. Keep the United States title on Raw. I think maybe two different tag champs, because there's a lot of tag teams down in NXT that you can call up at this point. I think American Alpha already. I think Blake and Murphy are ready. The Revival are good. You can bring up the Hype Bros even if you wanted to. And then, of course, you've got all of the established tag teams that are already there. Enzo and Cass, the New Day. You've got the Dudley Boys. You've got all these tag teams, the fucking Puerto Rican guys. You got a lot of tag teams down there, and I think you can split those guys up and then have strong tag team divisions on both shows. As far as the women's title, that one's tricky because I don't think that they quite have enough talent yet to be splitting up the rosters and having two different women's shows. You got Natty and Charlotte and Becky and Sasha. You can bring Bayley up. You got Dana now, although she's not that great in the ring or on the mic. Although I think she's improved quite a bit since, when she started. But is she ready for it? Maybe not. But I think she could have a title program. I don't think she's ready for the title yet. But I don't think that the Divas division, or the women's division, I'm sorry. I don't think the women's division is quite there yet to be split up. So maybe you do the women's title on Raw and a cruiserweight title on SmackDown or something like that. But who knows? I guess we'll find out, right? I think it'll be interesting to say the least. I'm really excited for it. The draft so far is speculated to be July 11th, which is the Raw I'm going to. What? Crazy, right? I'm excited for it. Hopefully it's that date. I think the best way for them to do it would be wait until July 18th and 19th, right? And then do the draft Raw July 18th, and then SmackDown July 19th on both live shows. For the first time ever, SmackDown and Raw are going to be back-to-back live, right, on the USA Network. And then you do the draft those 2 days, bring in the ratings, and then you're good. You're solid. But My computer just fucking froze. Well, my webcam froze. So I'm gonna cut the video there, guys, before I completely break everything. I think we covered just about everything. Anything that I missed or that you guys have any idea on, let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments section below. Let's get talking. Let's talk wrestling. That's what we're here for, right? We're all buds, we're all pals, we're all wrestling fans, and that's great. There's nothing to be ashamed of here. I want to talk wrestling with wrestling fans, and you know, I'll be in the comments section if you have a great idea. I'll be like, wow, that's great. That's why we're here. That's what the point of this show is to talk wrestling. So leave your comments in the comment section of, you know, whatever. If you probably have a great idea. Maybe you think that they're gonna start a third show called Raw Down or something. I don't know, whatever. And leave it in the comment section below if you have a great idea, because I want to hear it. I'm all up for new ideas, something that I possibly didn't think of, right? As for now, though, guys, I am your boy Enzo. Bye. Uh-oh, missed the punch. There we go. Hit him with a kick instead. He turns around. Here we go. Got him with a almost an angle slam. Here we go. Alabama Slammer. Straight from Arizona.